Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome, glad to have you. You know, I've owned the Crush here for almost 4 years now, and I have figured out a lot of things that happened in 2020, including living through the C word with the little number after it. And I also figured out, love Saturday morning traffic, why my bike has been plagued with the worst problems you can probably have, which makes for good YouTube, but has cost me a fortune. And let me explain why this bike is probably the poster child for DEI. You know, in 2020, nobody really knew what was going on, and I really wanted one of the new Milwaukee 8s, and I went to a couple of different dealers. I ended up going to Tampa Harley. Well, it was called Brandon Harley back then, and they gave me a great deal, and I could never figure out why they gave me such a great deal. More traffic. Then I figured it out later. During the 2020 years, there was lots of manufacturing problems, quality control problems, manufacturing problems because they couldn't get proper materials from their providers. But my bike in particular also has to do with Jochen Zeitz and his new board members, and really what happened to quality control and not watching what they're doing, and incompetent board members, basically. Now, I've got about a dozen videos of this bike over the last 4 years showing all the problems with it. And it's been a nightmare for me. But here's why I think this bike had to be totally rebuilt with aftermarket parts, except for my wheel, which I probably should start with first. You know, I was lucky that I had the foresight to say, I want the wheel and tire warranty. And it was a good thing I did, because after 5,000 miles, I was wearing out rotors. And I took it back to the dealer. They said, well, your rotor's bad, and they gave you a new one. It was on warranty. I said, okay, I didn't think much about it. I got back after 10,000 miles, needed new rotors, and they couldn't tell me why. Now, I know they've got some young mechanics there and stuff, but they should have diagnosed it. 15,000 miles, another set of rotors. And I finally went back to my old mechanic. He's an old master mechanic in Sarasota. And I told him about it. He said, that's crazy. You shouldn't be doing that. But he said, I have seen this before. And he said, let me measure your front wheel. He did. And the front wheel from the factory was not true. Not enough for me to feel it, really feel it, but enough to wear out those rotors. And he put a claim in for the warranty. I ended up getting a new wheel because it was bent from the factory. Bent. And I have a couple of videos on that wheel and what it put me through. And even after I got it, what happened. It even affected my ABS. My ABS was never working properly. And it wasn't the ABS system as much as it was the wheel being out of true. But you know, the young mechanics at Harley Davidson, the dealerships, couldn't find it. They didn't have enough experience to find it. I needed an old guy to find it, which I trust. I go to Dan down in Sarasota because he's the only one I trust. But then I had other problems. At 20,000 miles, I wanted to refresh the lower end of that motor. So I brought it to Dan and said, can you just refresh the lower end? I said, I don't really want to put it stage 2, but I really would like that refreshed so I don't have to worry about it. Well, when they did that, Dan gave me a call and he said, I know you weren't thinking about stage 2, but I think we need to do it because your cam is scored and it's bad. Neighbors on Saturday. Shouldn't do this on Saturday. Oh well. But I ended up refreshing the whole lower end with S&S and put in a new cam. That cam should not have gone bad, but because of the quality control from either their supplier or someone at Harley Davidson, they let B stock and substandard products go out. And that's just not right. And I think that's the new board of directors saying, just, you can't get the parts. We got stuff in stock that may not be correct. Let's just send it out with these. My bike happened to get a lot of those parts. So I spent, I don't know, thousands of dollars getting that low end done with a new cam. Of course, I had to put in Thundermax tuner, all of that. So, you know, I went back to the dealer after I told him my cam was bad. And when I called them, you know, my old people who worked there, they were somewhere else because that dealership got bought and got put out of business by the new regulations from Harley. And so the mom and pop people, they, you know how they've destroyed mom and pop Harley dealers and have gone all corporate. My old dealership people would have said, look, you're only a month out of warranty, let us take care of it. These new people said, sorry, we can't help you. And I asked to speak to some of the other people who said, well, they don't work there anymore and we can't help you. So that was just another thing to deal with the new board of directors and the new Harley leadership. And I had other problems. My key switch was not right from the factory. I had major problems with it just in the electrical system because everything goes through that key switch. So I had to get a new key switch for that. And I had a bunch of other problems. Now, some things I did myself, like the progressive shocks and the front end, I ended up doing the front shocks. But these were all problems except for the shocks that I had to deal with Harley Davidson. The tour pack that you see is not a Harley Davidson tour pack. It's a works that I had to get repainted from a custom painter. Because Harley said, we'll never match the paint. You'll have to get, you know, a tour pack and have it custom painted. That's because they don't have the quality control of the paint. They can't match their own, you know, paint formulas. These are things that all happened in 2020. And, you know, 2020 was a bad year for all manufacturing, but how you deal with that says a lot about the company. And it also says a lot about that new board that Kuryakyn Zeitz brought in and how they dealt with it. It was not good. And they just wanted to see the bottom dollar. You know, this board members, they don't know crap about motorcycles. They just brought them in because they were DEI and they were woke. And this is what you get when you have a DEI motorcycle. It was crap until I rebuilt the entire motorcycle. And I'm not complaining about DEI. I have the proof to complain about DEI, and it's sitting right here. Now, should I sell it? Well, I've already rebuilt it. I should have bought a 2019. I would not have had these problems. Am I going to keep it? I guess I have to. I've got so much money into it, and I know that it's correct now. And I'm probably going to end up keeping it, just because I don't know if I trust Harley's manufacturing unless I bought it pre-19. So that's my story. If you want to go back and watch those other videos, I got at least a dozen of them of all the problems I've had with this motorcycle. This is why I've got the poster boy for DEI.